Hi, my name is Ebony LaDelle. I am the author of Love Radio, and This Could Be Forever, and I'm going word for word with Simon Teen. Love Radio. It's crazy how a relationship can be over before you both call it quits. I started to feel it after prom and her graduation. It was like once she walked across that stage, she decided to step into her new life, and my presence didn't fit anymore. The good times were good, but I had to be realistic and look at it for what it was. A time in my life that was fun while it lasted. The relationship from Morgan was transactional, but with Danielle, it's different. Who knows? Maybe she'll do the same. Maybe she'll go to New York and forget all about me. But the difference is, I know that each time Danny opens up to me, it's because she likes me for me. She's barely ever heard me on the airways, which is in some ways refreshing. Maybe if I win Danielle Ford's heart, it really could be mine to hold. And even if it doesn't work out, if she goes her own way and I go mine, I'll be proud that I finally did something I had been wanting to do forever. Step to a girl who's had me for a long time. There's no way I'd ever regret that. So in this scene, Prince is getting advice from his friend Yassine about his ex-girlfriend. She basically has been reaching out to him since she found out that he is now dating Danny. So one of the reasons I chose to write this scene is because we see a lot of healthy dynamics between women when it comes to giving advice, but not necessarily men. And since Danny is someone who writes through her own issues, and Prince is someone who dishes advice to other people, I wanted to show a friend that knows you very well, that knows you sometimes more than you know yourself, and is able to help you work through a problem. And so that's where Yassine steps in, and he sort of asks Prince what he feels about Morgan, if he's over her or not. And for me, I just wanted to show that not only can you have a friend who understands you, but a friend who can show up for you and give you good advice that you need. It was important for me to write this scene because I think for so many people, they'll break up with someone, they'll get out of a relationship and jump right back into a new one without really unpacking the baggage. And there's so much that you're learning about yourself. There's so much that you're learning about what went right and wrong in the relationship. In the story, I'm showing that Prince had an ex-girlfriend. I wanted to show through his conversation with Yassine that not only has he worked through his feelings towards her and why he's not into her anymore and why he's into Danny, but I wanted to show how he's able to communicate it in a healthy way, which really, in essence, shows that he is over her. This could be forever. It's funny how you see yourself, Raj, versus how I see you. You're one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met, at least so far. Deja, it's your turn to hear me out, she says, her voice stern. You didn't know me at all, but you gave me a free tattoo. You let me crash at your place. You had me meet your family because you know how important family is to me. You quietly explained everything to me tonight. You listen to me, but you also pick up on what makes me comfortable and act on it. You're always thoughtful, Raja. But am I thoughtful when all of this is a selfish ploy to get you to like me, I asked jokingly, but also not. I want her to want me, so I'm doing whatever it takes to win her. I spent months trying to scrub her from my memory after spring break, and it was impossible. So I must try, or Deja will forever be the one that got away. I can't spend the rest of my life comparing every girl to her. At this point, Deja and Raja know that they like each other, but they're starting to deal with some of the external clashes. So one piece of external clash is that Deja's father mistakenly hears Raja's voice while he's at her house, and he realizes from his name not only is she dating someone, but he's not Black. In response to some of the things that Deja has concerns about with regards to Raja's family, he has decided to plan a kickback at his house where his sister and his cousins come over and they're able to meet her to sort of help her with any anxieties she has about their dynamic, their relationship. What was nice about writing this scene was, unlike Prince in Love Radio, who is a love expert, Raja is really literally stumbling into how to court because it's not something that he really instinctively knows how to do, right? So what I wanted to show was sort of all the traditional ways of courting that are the best ones. He is showing respect for Deja and making sure that he brings his family together so that she feels supported. He's exhausted from planning because he does not plan at all. But it was a lot of fun, again, just allowing her to be courted through Raja really learning how to do it. And I think it shows all the soft parts of love while also sprinkling a little teen rebellion in there. I felt that this scene was important for the story because it is insta love, and I wanted to show that this isn't necessarily love bombing, which I know is a phrase that's used a lot, but more so love in action, love as a verb, right? And so what I wanted to show through this scene was Number one, Raja has been listening to Deja's concerns about will she be accepted within his family, but he isn't looking to her to solve it, right? Like, he takes the step, he takes the action to figure it out himself. And so while he couldn't give her everything that she wanted in making herself feel secure in his whole family, what he did do was he found his ride or dies. He found his cousins, he found his sister, he found the ones who he knew Deja would be safe with, and he planned this whole experience around her. And I think it's really important to show that. Sometimes you know, a guy that's courting a girl, you know, sometimes we want the guy to step up and do the things that we need them to do as we're explaining to them what we're feeling. And I think it really shows how a male can step up for a female. I write romance books because I think love is a necessity. If you do not get enough of it, it affects you. If it's toxic, it can change you, and it can kind of like shift your view of the world. And so I wanted to show through romance that you can have a healthy relationship as a teenager. You can have a healthy relationship as a young adult, just like you would want to have a healthy relationship with any of your relationships, right? Showing up as your best self in a relationship benefits you, it benefits them. And even if this relationship isn't your forever, it isn't your forever love, there's so much that you can learn and gain from the relationship and grow in ways that you never would have before. So for me, that's why I think if you're able to write romance that really helps a reader understand, you know, how they should view love, how they should act on love, I think it could change so much about your life. When talking about Love Radio, one of the things that I have always said is that Danny, she is the moment, right? She is the star of this show. And I think that's how I view all of my romances when I'm writing them. Danny and Deja are the main characters. And so much of what I'm doing is writing male characters in response to them and what they need. And so for Danny and Prince, that book was just a joy to write, right? Like, I was writing so much of what I wanted to show of Black love in all its forms. When writing Deja and Raja, it was a bit more difficult because of the external clashes, and also because I was also writing from personal experience. But the joy in writing that story was also, again, the love between the two characters. For me, they were different in like the topics that I was writing, but also one and the same in that I'm showcasing a Black girl getting her happily ever after, and also just the joy and the beauty of a budding romance.